I'm buying the house from David for 500. His accountant tells him his basis is only 100 grand. He's getting taxed on everything above that. So every time you send him a check for $2,000 towards the month that you're giving him, 80% of that is taxable.
Something that Brian had asked the seller that I didn't know is when do you declare in owner financing, when do you declare the home sold? Is it when the title transfers or is it at the balloon payment?
No, it's sold and transfers at the beginning. And when the deed transfers and the note gets created and all that, you own it at the beginning, it's sold.
So he has to essentially declare that as income even though he hasn't received full income for it?
No, great question. So, okay, this is his primary?
Yes.
If it's his primary, I'm wondering why he's concerned about declaring income, because as a single guy, is he single?
I assume so.
If he's single and he's filing, no joint return, is $250,000 exclusion of the property. He's not making more than that in this property. What's this property price?
285 is what he wants for it.
Yeah, so I don't think it's applicable to him unless you're misunderstanding him or he's misunderstanding what's going on. But let me answer the question. Does everybody know how to answer that question? If it's not his primary and it is going to be taxed? Let me go over that.
I think so. If it's not his primary, it'll be taxed when he receives his money, right? Monthly and throughout the year, right?
The proportion, yes.
Portion of that. Minus the basis.
Minus the basis, yes, Dave, exactly. Jessica, you don't need this for him, but let me say it, okay? Because that sparked it. Let's do this really simple. David has a house. He's selling it for $500,000. Most sellers don't know what the basis is unless they're really financially savvy. But let's say his accountant tells him your basis, which is what he bought it for, less the depreciation every year that his accountant took, plus any improvements. That's a basis. That's sweet. So, and then above that, he's going to get taxed on. So let's go back to the example. David's house is 500 grand. His accountant says your basis is 250, half. So if I structure $2,000 monthly principal payments with David, half of that payment is subject to capital gains every month. Not right away, Jessica, pay up front as he gets the money proportionate to what his accountant tells him is taxable. Was that not clear or was that clear? That makes sense, guys?
It's clear to me, but I'm an accountant, so
There you go.
I gotta cheat on that one.
That's why you said it.
So why did you say half? Is because basically it's what's over the 250,000?
No, sorry, I used 250 kind of twice. It's interchangeable, but it's nothing to do with each other. The basis was 250, which happens to be half of 500. That's all I was doing. Let's do it a different way to change up the numbers. I'm buying the house from David for 500. His accountant tells him his basis is only 100 grand, 20%. He's getting taxed on everything above that. So every time you send him a check for $2,000 towards the month that you're giving him, 80% of that is taxable, subject to capital gains tax. David, does that make sense?
Yes, I think sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll be paying capital gains on 80% of it.
If his basis was only 100 grand.
If in that situation, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought capital gains was if you've lived there less than 2 years or if you...
That is the other exception on the primary. You are correct. Sorry, I should have said that. Yes. Is he less than 2?
He's been there for 3.5 years.
You maybe passed it then.
No, there's two, Corey, because Mallory was on last week. So they have to be there 2 out of 5. That's what Corey was just saying, right, Corey?
Yeah, 2 out of the last 5. Yeah.
But there's another one. I think it's either less than a year or less than 2, and I'm drawing a blank. Mallory did it last week with me. In other words, they sell quick.
That's just the
criteria. If you're less than 2 years.
That's just the 2 and 5 is just the criteria to be a primary resident. So
correct.
If his dad just passed this year and he took over this year, he wouldn't even be in the qualification as a primary at this point. You know what I'm saying? But he's been there 3 years, so it does qualify as a primary. That just gets back to the 80% of what he can qualify that he has to pay taxes on later. But it's only per the year. So if you give him 2,000, he's only paying the 80% of the 24,000 this year, and then next year going forward. So, and that the transition on owner owner financing would stop that anyway as soon as it closes. So, which would satisfy his criteria.
About a 5.
Yeah, by 5. It's confusing.